What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, or welcome to the channel. If it is your first time here, please do consider subscribing. It's your boy Mansa here today to give you the best upcoming games for February 2025. That is right. The first month of the year is pretty much out of the way. It was slow after the Game Awards and everything, but now we got February, and it's shaking up to be a really good, strong start to the year. You know, we got the Xbox Developer Direct last week, and we saw what was upcoming for them, at least for the first half. But let's get into all of the publishers and what they're putting out this year. So if you're new to the channel, please do consider subscribing. Let's get right into these top games coming out in the month of February. Now, starting off on February 4th, we have Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, which will be coming out on PS5, PC, and Xbox Series X and S. And now this is an action, medieval time fantasy RPG set in the early 15th century in Bohemia. This is the sequel to the original Kingdom Come Deliverance that came out in 2018. So it's been 7 years. This comes from War Horse Games. In the description for the story says that chaos has befallen the kingdom as invaders pillage this ungoverned land, sowing fear and terror. Henry of Skalitz seeks refuge or revenge for his murdered family. Now a trusted member of the rightful king's allies, Henry is sent to escort Sir Hans Capone on a diplomatic mission. After they are ambushed and nearly killed, the two young men embark on a series of perilous adventures, putting their skills, character, and friendship to the ultimate test. And now, I'm not all that familiar with this series, but I've heard a lot of buzz around it. A lot of people are really excited about it, especially with the amount of fantasy RPGs that are actually coming out this year specifically. Like, we have Avowed coming from Xbox. We also have Fable, allegedly is supposed to be coming from Xbox later this year, even though I think that might get delayed. So there's a lot of, competition, but also for people that like these games, there's a lot to look forward to. So Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, you can check it out, as I said, on PS5, PC, Xbox Series X and S on February 4th. Next up, on February 11th, we have Civilization 7. Yes, one of the longest running PC games, which is actually coming out on console as well. So it'll be coming out on PC, PlayStation, Xbox, and even Nintendo Switch. We know the classic Civilization game from 2K, the real-time strategy type of game, simulation. A lot of people like these games. You got Civilization, you got Age of Empires, you got Frostpunk. A lot of these games have been coming out recently, even Our History Untold coming from Microsoft Game Studios. So, again, not my type of, my cup of tea, but a lot of people do like these games. Obviously, it being the 7th in the series means it is popular, and hey, it's continuing to go strong. Looks really good, especially with, the textures, the features, the different cutscenes, and even the character models and everything like that. So if you're into the simulation games, you can check it out on February 11th. All right, next up we have a game that is definitely not my speed. We have Date Everything coming out on February 14th. That makes sense. Obviously, Valentine's Day. So this game is going to be coming out on PC, PS5, Switch, and Xbox Series S and X. And just as the name suggests, you'll be able to date everything in your house. So all the inanimate objects, from the toaster, guitar, piano, vacuum cleaner, all these things will turn into pretty much real life people versions of those items around the house, and you can date them and start, simulation and things like that. Again, it's a creative concept. Obviously not something I would play, but I mean, I get the vision. I see the vision. This comes from Sassy Chap Games. And the description is just saying that you date everything is a sandbox dating simulator set in the comfort of your own home. It features 100 fully voice acted dateable characters. I'm sure a bunch of those are going to be I'm sure it's like 10 voice actors that are doing 10 characters each. But either way, still a lot of effort put into the game. It says to let the romance flow between your bed, smoke alarm, and overwhelming sense of existential dread. So you see all the inanimate objects being characters now, and yeah, for the people that like simulation, cozy dating games, this is for you guys. You can check it out on Valentine's Day, February 14th. Also releasing on February 14th, we have Nihon Falcom's Trails to Daybreak 2. So we got Trails to Daybreak 1 last year, and then 2 is coming out. This actually came out in Japan in 2022, and it's just now getting localized. So Falcom's been doing a good job of trying to get these things localized between this and the Ease series as well. But a lot of the Legends of Heroes games are 3 to 4 years behind, and we're kind of getting them later. But we saw Ease 10 Nordics, we got that a lot sooner than a lot of these other games. But in this game, you do return to the Calvard Republic and unravel the mystery of the Crimson Beast. One day, a shocking series of murders set the wheels of fate into motion once again. Chaos looming on the horizon, the Spriggan Van Arkride receives an unexpected visitor who is behind the murders. And who is behind the murders and what is their goal? Now, the Trail series isn't what our Legend of Heroes in general isn't a series I've gotten into yet. I've tried to like Ease, Persona. Those are the kind of games or JRPGs I'm getting into. Trails and Legend of Heroes, it just has way too many games in it. Like, I know you don't technically have to play all of them, but I am one of those people where if I'm going to play it and there's some type of connection between them, I got to play all of them. And I just haven't got around to playing any of these. But a lot of people love these games, and Falcom has been doing a good job as far as productivity and getting a lot of these games out, being able to reuse assets where necessary. And, the localization, like I said, Falcom's not a large team. So then being able to get these over in America is it's really good. You could check it out on February 14th. Our third game dropping on February 14th. So February 14th is going to be a really busy day. I'm sure people are going to be out and on dates and stuff like that, so they won't have enough time to game. But you got the next series in the Tomb Raider Remastered collection. We got Tomb Raider 4, 5, and 6 Remastered. And this will be dropping for the Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, PS4, PS5, PC, and Nintendo Switch. So again, just like they dropped 1, 2, and 3, it is, a new coat of paint on the legendary Tomb Raider series, except now we're doing 4, 5, and 6 after doing the first 3 games in the trilogy. So if you're into Tomb Raider or you never experienced it, you want to play with some, modern visuals and things like that, you could check it out on February 14th. Next, on February 18th, we have from Obsidian Entertainment, which is kind of the MVPs of Xbox at this point, celebrating their 20th anniversary. They are dropping Avowed, which is set in the Pillars of Eternity universe. We've seen this game back in, I think it was 2020 or 2021 when it was first announced. We got to see it better at the Xbox Game Showcase last year, and it's looking great. A lot of people are looking forward to it. You can get early access and be able to play the game 5 days early if you want to, but as I mentioned earlier, there are a lot of fantasy RPG games coming out this year. This Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, Fable later in the year, but everything has its own type of flavor. Every game is a little different. As you see, this game is going to focus a lot more on the magic and the dual wielding and things like that, and a lot more of the choice and consequence, which Kingdom Come Deliverance is going to have as well, but Obsidian is kind of masters of it. We've seen with the Outer Worlds, Pillars of Eternity, and things like that. So Avowed is going to be that first big Xbox first party game of the year, dropping February 18th. And then we'll have South of Midnight and Doom and all that later at the end of the spring season going into the summer showcase. So Avowed is supposed to be, it's supposed to be a big game, and a lot of people need to support it, whether it's in Game Pass, playing, buying it outright, playing it on PC, however you could play it. Make sure y'all support if you are into this game. Buy this Kingdom Come Deliverance. Support every game that you like. So you can check out Avowed on February 18th. Next up from Sega and RGG Studios, we have Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii. Yes, a mouthful of a title. And this is actually a spin-off. So I thought this was, originally I believe this was a DLC for Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, but it's actually a spin-off game, just like they had Like a Dragon Ishin and Like a Dragon Gaiden. This game will be a full-on spin-off, completely separate story. It takes place in the, regular Yakuza universe and everything like that, but it's going to be completely different than any of the other games that we've seen in the series. I was saying it's going to tell the story of an ex-Yakuza member and becoming a pirate and traveling and things like that. And they had a whole showcase kind of showing the game, and Like a Dragon, it has its side stories, mini games, combat, everything like that. And this game pretty much does what, everyone's wanted from Assassin's Creed Black Flag. We've seen you've been able to get into, fights with your boats, being able to upgrade your boats, take over other people's boats, the combat. Everything in this game just looks really, really good. The Yakuza series isn't my thing in particular, but it's great to see Sega having these different branches from RGG, Atlas, and then their regular Sonic team and their regular Sega flagship games being able to come out. We've seen Virtual Fighters about to come out again, so they definitely been firing on all cylinders, no pun intended, and a lot of people are excited for this game. They actually moved it up. I believe the game was supposed to come out on the 28th and they ended up moving it up to the 21st. So you can check it out if you are into this series or you're missing Assassin's Creed Black Flag, you're waiting for that remake to come out. You can check out Like a Dragon, Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii on February 21st. Now, on the last day of the month, we have Monster Hunter Wilds, which is probably a lot of people's most anticipated game in total, like as a whole, for the entire year, coming out on the last day of the month, February 28th. This is a sequel to Monster Hunter World. We know we had Monster Hunter Rise, Monster Hunter Stories that came out in between them, but this is the next entry in the mainline series from Capcom, running on that beautiful RE engine that we are used to. And the description for this says that dynamic, ever-changing environments, a story of monsters and humans in a world with two faces, one in which the lands are harsh and unforgiving, where monsters fight for scant resources, and another in which the lands are vibrant and brimming with life. You play as a professional monster hunter, protecting the balance of the ecosystem and hunting monsters. Use the resources you gain from hunts to craft ever more powerful weapons and armor in your quest to unravel the mysteries of the new lands. Experience the most evolved action and improved immersion in any Monster Hunter to date. And now this game, what is crazy about it is they had like a beta a few months ago, and the beta had like 300,000 people or something crazy. I don't remember the exact amount. It was a crazy amount of people just for a beta of a single player. I mean, you can play with multiple people, but it's mostly like a single player game for the most part. And yes, you can play online with 4 people, but most people do play, if you don't have your friends with you or whatever, or you're just someone that just wants to play the game, you can. And 300,000 is an insane amount of people. And listen, Monster Hunter is insanely popular. It is pretty much Capcom's one of their tentpole franchises. It's like Monster Hunter, Resident Evil, and then I guess if you want to throw like Devil May Cry in there or Street Fighter, which those don't come out every so often. So Monster Hunter and Resident Evil has been pretty much keeping the lights on at Capcom for the last decade or so. And this game is going to be big. This is going to be, game of the year contender, probably one of the top selling games of the year outside of like the sports franchises and Call of Duty or GTA 6. If that does come out, this is going to be up there for sure. So if you're looking forward to it, you can check it out on February 28th. There you have it, guys. That is all the top games, in my opinion, that people are really looking forward to for the month of February. Of course, there are a few, smaller games, other games I didn't mention, but this is what I think are the most anticipated games. Definitely check out all of them. And, this is the first month after January. Wasn't really a lot going on after the Game Awards. Things kind of slowed down, especially in January. So February is really starting off 2025, which is going to it's looking like a monster year as far as game releases, similar to what we had in 2023. Not quite like it, but definitely a lot to look forward to. But you guys let me know in the comment section below, which game are you most looking forward to? Let me know. Leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and I'll catch you on the next one.